you said that was one of the two pillars. I think it was work was one of the two pillars. What's the
Sort
other?
of, yeah. So thank you for asking. So when people started asking me about, Jim, okay, you talk about happiness a lot. What does it even mean? I didn't go to the dictionary to try to look up some sort of definition, but I went through a lot of different research on this, and and the framework that I give is basically the way I describe it, David, is this way. I said, imagine a day when you're on the beach at a beautiful resort with someone you love. You wake up in the morning, you do yoga, you have a great workout, fantastic breakfast. In the afternoon, you go to the spa, you hang out on the beach, or you do something you love, whether it's shopping or going to a nice museum, have a nice siesta, wake up, you have happy hour, great dinner, drinks, dancing, music, go back to your room at the resort, a beautiful night of romance with this person you love, and you fall asleep in each other's arms. And I say, okay, that's day one. Yeah, who would be happy doing day one? And most people raise their hand, right? I say, okay, now think about day two. Okay, day two, you wake up early, you guzzle your coffee, you've got a long commute, but you're a nurse in a skilled nursing facility, and you help people who are at the end of their lives, or maybe they're even in hospice, and you don't get paid a lot of money, but you see that your tender, loving care for these people who are elderly or who are ill or at the end of their lives, you're bringing a smile to their faces, you're having a beautiful, positive impact on them. At the end of the day, you pick up your kids at daycare, make them a quick dinner, help them get to bed, and then you go to sleep. No romance because you're a single parent. Okay, and I say, okay, so who would be happy with day two? And some people are like, oh, is this a trick question? And other people say, yeah, I'd be happy doing that. And what I say is, day one is all about pleasure, and day two is all about purpose, pleasure and purpose.
Yeah.
And pleasure is great, and it's fun, and it's enjoyable, and it feels good, uh, and but often not very meaningful, right? And purpose is fighting for what's right, or directly helping people, or touching people's lives very directly, uh, helping out less fortunate people, working really hard on a great product or something, or a service that is helping people, helping a business grow. These are very different things.
Yeah.
And what I say is that in my happiness framework, the happiest life is one which has a blend of these things.
Uh-huh.
So it's not, because if you think about people as all pleasure, no purpose, right? Sitting on a beach, drinking mojitos, it'll be great for a while, and
Yeah,
then eventually,
I immediately went to boredom. I thought, well, how long do I have to do this?
right? Yeah, exactly. I mean, for a while it's great, and then after a while it's like, well, okay, I need to do a little bit more. I need to do something. Either it's exercise my brain more, or help people out more, or there's so much that is broken in our world that anybody who's smart and focused on helping other people, there's no lack of work and help and volunteering work that needs to be done. Now, on the other hand, I've had people in my workshops who started nonprofits in Oakland, California. And this one woman, she was, I don't know, maybe 28 years old. And she said, look, I started this nonprofit in Oakland. I've been doing it for 6 years. I am so exhausted and burned out that I have to just walk away from that and hand it off to other people, because I haven't had a vacation. I don't take care of my health. I don't get enough sleep. Right. And ironically, though, that she's basically saying I've got lots of purpose in my life, not enough pleasure.
Hmm.
Right. And, and so what I encourage people to do when they think about their happiness, and the writing exercise that I have them do is, do you have too much pleasure, too much purpose, not enough of either? And I go through a whole framework on this. And if you can find something that is pleasurable and purposeful, that's ideal. Now, not everything's going to be that way. I think having a good meal and drinking some good wine, that is very pleasurable. I generally don't find it very purposeful. Studying hard for exam, working really hard in order to get a degree, uh, really sacrificing, like changing diapers, that kind of thing, that can be very purposeful, not very pleasurable. But some of the best things in life are both. So, David, if you think about playing soccer with your kids in the backyard, or doing work that you find really meaningful, that's really touching people's lives in a great way, or maybe it's family reunions. These are things that are purposeful and pleasurable. Having amazing lovemaking with someone that you really love. I mean, these are purposeful and pleasurable things. So the best things in life are purposeful and pleasurable. And if we can kind of be aware of that, and actually there's a term for this, which is called being in the zone, right?
Yeah.
If you know, is it Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi? Right. Thank you.
Me high, chick sent me high is how I've been taught to say it.
I'm sure you got it right. So he talks about being in the zone, and when
Yeah.
you think about it, it's you're absorbed, you lose track of time. It is challenging. It's not too challenging, but it's challenging enough that you find it interesting and kind of hard, but you can kind of do it if you're really focused and you're really trying, and it's something that is meaningful and interesting and creative for you. And his advice for people to be happy in this situation is to try to get in the zone as much as you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, for some people, being in the zone is doing podcast interviews, whether that's you or me, right? Or both of us. Sometimes it's writing software, writing code for software, which can be very complex and ornate and challenging and beautiful in a way. Sometimes it's playing with your kids. Sometimes it's reading or teaching someone how to read. Sometimes it's learning a foreign language. Sometimes it's cooking. It can be doing an Excel spreadsheet and doing financial analysis. And what I encourage anyone to do who's listening to this or who reads my book is to really think about what puts you in the zone and then try to do that as much as you can.
Yeah. Yeah. Boy, I had a powerful experience of that growing up. As a teenager, I got very interested in electronics and amateur radio. And
Ah,
uh, I lived, my bedroom was in what had been a laundry room attached to the garage, so away from the parental house.
yeah.
And I would just live in there or in the garage soldering and putting things together. And I would forget meals. My parents would have to come and drag me away from that stuff. And so I always think of that as being in the flow. The other is skiing, which I'm not able to do anymore. But you literally have the feeling of flow as you're flowing down the mountainside.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's beautiful that you've been doing this podcast, and that is a reflection of your passion for amateur radio. And
Yeah, yeah, it's kind
I,
of
I
you
s-
can
I-
see a relationship there. Yeah,
beautiful, beautiful.